Would you like to start an online retail consultancy business or just want to make it more productive and demanded? Don't know how to do it? Not enough inspiration or something else? It will be changed since this minute, because now you have an opportunity to watch an interview with one of the best specialists in retail sphere, with a designer from America, Vonni. So we are starting. I would like to remind you that this interview is one of the informative ways to monetize your expertise online. Introwise is all about inspiration, tech, and business. Hi to everyone, my name is Daria, and today we have an inspirational interview with one of the best American designers. His name is Vonni, and he has his brand Vonni for 20 years, and today he will share his experience about how to run an online retail business, and also will recommend our consultants to do as much as possible to their clients. So Von, I'm really happy that you are here.
Hi everybody, I'm very happy to be a guest.
What do you think about the market of consultants, of online retail consultants? Are they on demand nowadays? What is the specific of their work for this year?
It is definitely very important because like I said, let's say if you work with someone like me who can look from different angles and give you different options and to bring this project to work, it is important because it's another completely different world. And if you are a buyer of clothing store or furniture, doesn't matter. You don't necessarily, not a lot of people have the knowledge of consulting how to build the business and how to go about approaching. So I do suggest you work with a consultant, definitely, because when you work with a consultant, you need to look at who your customer, identify your customer, have this customer profile very, very clear. So that's one thing we did. Next thing, you go ahead and you decide what is the images that will be appealing to the customer. Have a very, very clear understanding of how you want to present your product in the images and what is the story in the images. Third, go ahead and with this consultant sit down and think, what is the story of your brand? Why should I come to you? Why should I buy your brand and not buy somebody else's brand or product? So come up with the story of your brand, come up with your own story. Another part, this brand, do we have a face? Are you face of a brand, or it's no face, just a name? Then if you're a face, okay, let's see what is the face that's going to do. So these are factors that working with a consultant, even if you have the knowledge, to work with a consultant will bring more out of you. I do work as a consultant, but when I want to do something for me, I would definitely also sit down and work with another consultant, because this process of communication brings out more that's in you and represents it better what is in you. So that would be a great consultant. I can sit down and consult businesses, not every day, but very, very often. However, when I want to do something for my own, I do also work with another consultant. That's a very important process. It's like you're thinking it out loud, and the other consultant brings out what's inside you unconsciously, and that's probably the most valuable information.
But what do you think, what are the most important features for online retail consultant for today? If we could, talk about good experienced consultants, what they could share with.
What a consultant could share with
the beginners, with the beginners, yeah.
With the beginners, well, so number one, logistics. Number two, competition. Identify your competition. Number three, pricing. See how much your competition is selling it for, so you need to be compatible. Analyze the volume. So that's number five, your clientele, who your client is. Very straight client profile. Because once you have this client profile, you already know who you want to advertise it, who you want to invite, who you want to bring in to your circles. And then number 6, once you have all these informations, you can think of the ways to market. Is this the crowd that wants to see, let's say, okay, it's another way, right? I'm working with a company who's selling product people for ladies that are from 50 to 60-year-old. There is nothing for these people, absolutely nothing. And guess what? They have so much money. They want to look young. They're ready to spend. They already paid their mortgage. They already have home, and there is nothing. Everything is for 20-year-old. 20-year-old has no money. They can go to H&M. They can buy something for $5, and they can look great because they're young. That's it, period. If you're young, you always look fabulous. So you need to know your client base. So what is it interesting? Do I put an image on a Facebook for this client base who's from 50 to 60-year-old? Or no, maybe you put a story. Maybe you put an article about cooking and bring in your garment into this. These people like to read. These people like to have information through reading. There's a client base that like to watch videos. So it's very important to know the client base and to know how you're going to market. Sometimes you can put an image on Facebook of a dress to sell this dress and you don't sell any, but you can write a beautiful story about how to organize your wardrobe and you can sell 100 dresses. So this is very important to do the research and to have a very sharp price. Not every item has to have a good price, but you need to have at least 2 or 3 items that are priced very, very well. This will bring you people, even though you're making low margin on these 2 items. But since you're selling a lot and you are getting traffic in, it is very profitable. So one more point I want to make about this. So, like for instance, you're paying Facebook advertising or Instagram advertising, right? You're paying I don't know, $30 a day or $50 a day or $100 a day. So your customer acquisition per customer who comes to your shop is, let's say, $100. So you're selling one dress for $100 and you're making zero. You make nothing, but oh my God, it's so great. I had one client. Okay, let's look at it differently. The dress costs you $20. Let's put this dress for $35, right? It's much easier to advertise. It's an impulse purchase, and 10 people out of 100 will definitely buy it. So you sold the dress at $35, but since you sold to 10 people, you made $350. Your cost of this dress, $200 came out, and $150 is your profit. So you made a profit. Your advertising didn't go to minus. Plus, you have a client who touched your product, who received it, and who can spread the word of the mouth. So some items really need to be priced very well just for the marketing reason.
Yeah. But when we are talking about, for example, fashion, online retail consultant, this consultant, as I could see, should have, a feel of fashion. What do you think about it? So if you even know the clientele and everything that you mentioned, if you don't have a feel of fashion, could you be an online retail consultant?
Absolutely, you can, yes, because the fashion sense will come from the designer. If I want to make a fashion brand, that means I have some type of fashion sense, right? And I know a vision of where it needs to go, and I am the creative force behind it. What I'm missing is the person to bring my vision into reality and to bring my vision into an action. So that's the fashion consultant. The right consultant can consult you how to sell your car, how to sell your bicycle, how to sell your very fashionable garment. You don't necessarily need to have fashion knowledge if you're a consultant. You need to have a knowledge of building, selling, and marketing, because the person who's selling the car already has that. I am the fashion person. I already have my fashion sense. My fashion consultant doesn't have to love my product. No, it's not necessary. They don't have to have the fashion sense. They have to have a different sense of how to touch your heart as a consumer that I don't have as a fashion designer. So you need to complete each other, not bring the same, but to complete each other and fulfill each other with missing parts.
Could an online retail store just live without a consultant who just recommend how to do, how to run the business? What do you think? Is it the significant position for just retail business having a consultant?
Exactly, it is important to have, but obviously, if this is another thing that I tell everyone, before you go and hire a consultant, do something on your own, make it on your own, something, and see what is the reaction. There has to be some type of organic growth. If there is some organic growth, if there is good reaction from people around you, it means your product has a good potential. Then you can take from there. If you don't have the good reaction, if you don't have the organic growth, then I tell you, go ahead and enhance your product, change it, make it better, to get that good reaction. So once you have a great reaction and the product is already good, then your next step is to get a consultant. The consultant is not going to exactly reshape your product. It is you as the creative person behind it. It's your message, it's your vision, so it is your job to enhance the product that you have. So any company that starts an online business, I think they should somehow start it on their own and then go to consultant.
Is it easy to enter the market for a retail consultant? What is your opinion?
To enter the market as a consultant, it is very competitive market, because right now we can work anywhere from Earth. You can be sitting in Indonesia, or you can be sitting in Ukraine, and I can be sitting in the United States. And I have access to so many people who are sitting in their home and running fashion consultant or retail consultant. So it is very hard to get into this market. And that is why, that is why it's important to, if you're a consultant and if you want to launch this career, it's very important to have a portfolio. So to have a good portfolio and to have a record. If you have a record of great sales, then you're a good consultant. If you have a history of great inventory management, then you're a good consultant. But it all comes about how much money you generate and how many sales you make. So for instance, if you're a starting consultant and you don't have any good clients, you can approach to some of your friends, you can approach to some of the brands, and you can offer a free service. Hey, can I help you for 3-4 months to help you with my consultant, with your company, because I need to build in my portfolio. Obviously, if it's a free service, they will gladly say yes. So you go ahead and you work these 2-3 months for free as an intern. You practice, you learn the knowledge, and you do something good for the person, and you have some generated sale. And guess what? This work always pays off, because if you do a good job and if the person makes money, they're going to give you a bonus. So the portfolio is very important. Consulting is a job that needs to have facts. It's not a dress. You look at a dress, wow, I love this dress, it's so nice. Oh no, I don't like this dress, it's bad. Consultant is different. Let me see what you did. You open it and it's numbers. Oh, we had 0 sales. After 1 month, we had 5 sales. After 2 months, we had 10 sales. This is very black and white. It's just numbers. So you need to build this portfolio. You need to have these numbers to show to your client.
How, for example, retail consultant could strengthen your brand? Because, for example, there are a lot of, issues when you should work with your brand, because now brands rule the world of the fashion, as we know.
I see. So the retail consultant. Well, in retail consultant, there is also there's an image and lifestyle consultant. There's also this type of position, right? So let's talk about this a little bit more. So the retail consultant in general is talking about sales and bringing traffic and all this, but there is also the image and the direction consultant that is very important also. Sometimes it can be one person, sometimes it's 2 different persons. So it's very important to also tell your story in the most beautiful way. If I'm selling this shirt and I'm sitting in this room, Perhaps it's not the best way to sell it, but I think it's wow, it's the most amazing way to shoot this in this room. But there's an image consultant that can say, oh, you know what, Vaughn, let's fly to Tulum, let's shoot this on the beach in Mexico at this beautiful setting. And people can relate to it more. So this type of consultant, the lifestyle consultant, they absolutely have to have sense of fashion, and they also have to have sense of storytelling and imagery. So this is mostly like editor. You're like kind of a fashion editor to bring this into the person. This is very important. There's so many images we see every day, so the image is important. You don't have to spend a lot of money on photos. You just need to do it in a way so people can relate to it. So this is the second retail consultant job, to there's one consultant that can make you build the business and function it, but there's another one that can enhance how your business looks and you can approach more audiences.
But what do you think about collaboration between different brands? Should you look at this side?
I think collaborations work. They always worked, and I think now they work even more. It's better to collaborate. Two designer collaborations do work sometimes, but it's always better to collaborate with another industry, let's say hair and makeup industry. If you're a fashion brand, if you're a fashion retail, you can yoga industry, you can collaborate. If your clothes are there, you just go to yoga class and do some collaboration with them. You can collaborate with an artist, interior designer, hotels. Collaborations always work because you both promoting each other. You have your client base that you're potentially taking to whoever you're collaborating with, and they have their client base that they bringing to you, to your company. So you're doubling your audience. Collaborations always work, and they still work. It just needs to be the right marriage.
Yes, that's right. And here, I think a retail consultant could even help. And the last but not the least, I would like to ask you short questions. And from you, I'm waiting for short answers.
Go ahead.
How did you find your first client?
How did I find my first client? Well, I made a garment for my college, and I gave it to my mom. She went to Miami for vacation, and she found my first client. Somebody saw her on the street, and she just gave my phone number, and she just called and ordered the dress.
How did you become a designer?
I actually always wanted to become one, but then I was afraid because I thought you can never make money in fashion. It takes a lot of courage to just give up everything and go and never give up. That was number one thing. If you want to become a fashion designer, never give up because the road is very hard. The beginning is very, very hard.
Best business advice?
Always be unique and don't repeat what others are doing.
Best time management advice?
Don't take projects that others tell you it's beneficial for you. Take the project that it's in your heart and you love.
Yes. What will be the future of the online retail business in a few years?
In a few years. Very good question. I have a feeling that there are certain age of people who would want to have more physical contact.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that segment will somehow come back. It's not going to be a full-time store, but it's going to be perhaps once a month event when you can see someone, because this is the model that is working, especially after COVID.
Thank you, Vaughn, very much for this interview. It was amazing, really. Yeah, I really love it.
Thank you too. I hope it was helpful, and I hope I could somehow inspire with some information and help your audience. And it's been my pleasure to meet you. Yes, thank you so much. I hope we'll talk again one day soon.